జూమ్ లింక్. ఓకే. సో ఇది ఇట్లాగా పెట్టేసి కంటిన్యూస్ రికార్డింగ్ అయిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇంకో 10 మినిట్సే కాబట్టి ఇట్లా వదిలేద్దాం.
ఓకే.
ఓకేనా? ఆ, నేను జస్ట్ మా అమ్మాయిని డ్రాప్ చేసి వచ్చేస్తాను, మళ్ళీ వెంటనే వచ్చి కనెక్ట్ అవుతాను. ఓకే.
ఓకే. ఓకే. సరే. Hi everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for joining the session. So let's wait a couple of minutes so we will start our actual session. Okay, guys, let's start. So, hi everyone, good morning. So, welcome to the world of software testing. So, coming to my introduction, myself Ram, with over 15 years of experience in software testing, which includes functional, automation, API, and performance testing. So, I have worked with multiple MNCs throughout my professional journey. So, this is about my short introduction. So, let's begin our course. So before uh, we begin the course, I would like to hear your thoughts on these questions. So your inputs or responses will really help me to meet your needs. So yeah, let's start. So what is testing and its importance? Can anybody tell? Just say what is testing. That's all. Common point of view, common user point of view.
Uh, Testing is nothing but whether the product or something is working as our expectations or not.
Okay.
We test.
What else?
Um,
While using application, we need to deliver the application without any bugs and issues to the
Co-
client.
Correct. Nice.
and also whether it meets the requirement of the users. We can test that also.
Okay. Okay. So basically here testing is nothing but we are questioning a product in order to evaluate it. That means here the primary goal of the testing is to identify bugs, defects, and usability issues before the software is released. Okay. So this is one of the fundamental software testing process where test cases are executed by a human tester without relying on automation tools. So that is, we call it as a software testing. The main purpose of software testing is to identify errors or some gaps or missing requirements in contract contrast to our actual requirement. We call it as a testing. Okay. Yeah. Moving to the next question. Why should one choose this course? Why did you choose this course? So basically, the first quality of any software test engineer must be an interactive, right? So he will be connecting with multiple persons, which includes stakeholders, developers, business analysts, day to day he need to interact with all these roles. So that's why one of the most one of the most important thing is communication, and also he must be an interactive. Okay, why should one choose this course? Any idea? There are n number of courses available in the market. So in the software industry, if you look at technologies front or backend, or database, or server side, or infrastructure side, there are a lot. So why did someone choose this course?
It is easy to understand, and it is zero coding. You need
Okay,
to understand the application flow from start to scratch and starting to ending, and we need to interact. We need to understand the requirements. That is the first main target. And
correct. Okay. The most main reason is by choosing this course, we'll get more job opportunities in this. Why? Because this testing is not limited to any one technology. Okay, you don't need to stick to any one specific technology in software industry. If you look at in the software industry, if you just take any web application which is typically developed using multiple technologies across various layers which include front end front end in the sense what you are viewing, UI. So the developer will be developed using HTML or CSS or JavaScript. There are n number of technologies, even server-side programming languages, which includes Python, Java, PHP, Ruby and Rails. Even databases, we have like MySQL, SQL Server. So there are n number of technologies while developing any web application, irrespective of any technology. That might be a Java or .NET or PHP or Python or CSS, whatever it may be. But testing is mandatory for each and every technology. That means that manual testing is not limited to any one of the technology. So got it right. So that too, this course is always in demand. Why? Because testing will be needed in software development, making it a stable career choice. Okay. The other one, why do software companies hire test engineers? Why? Because if you look at some software companies, they are especially into Java development, there might be into Pegasite, or there might be into SAP, there might be into Oracle. So there are multiple technologies, but the testers are required for every organization. Okay, so why the software companies hire test engineers? Mostly, if you look at the specialized focus, the one person cannot efficiently handle both development and testing tasks at the same time. So the only test engineer will focus solely on ensuring the quality. Okay. And the two, the test engineers are not emotionally attached to the code which is written by the developer. So they can identify issues more clearly. Okay. So if you look at in any software company, there are there is a war between both the developer and the tester. Why? Because the tester is always his duty is to find the defects. The developer duty is to fix the defect, and he don't want to give a opportunity to the tester to find the defects in his code. Okay. So coming to the fourth one, why should do this course? Who should do this course? ఎవరు చెయ్యొచ్చు? Who should do this course? Can you share anyone your thoughts? Who should do this course? Here, anybody who completes his graduation with good communication skills, any degree with a strong communication and interaction skills are eligible to do this course. Okay, and they must be very creative and also confident individual, and mindset must be a collaborative. Why? Because testers should be really interact with different, you know, roles, which includes developers, even stakeholders, scrum masters, multiple people day to day interacting with them. And the other one is having the gap of 1 to 5 years after their graduation or post graduation are eligible to do this course. Okay. Yeah, let's moving to the next question. Why do we need manual testing? Why? That's what we discussed in our what is testing. Both are almost similar. So when any application is launched with bugs or some other issues, it can cause some problems for end users. Okay. So, I mean, definitely the product reputation will go down. To avoid these issues, the manual testing helps ensure the application is a bug-free, stable, and deliver a high quality product to the client. You know, right? Always a bug-free application. Bug-free is nothing but a product with good qualities, no issues, nothing. Allows end users to have a smoother and more convenient experience. So I will ask you who is end user here? Who is end user?
So here stakeholder goes up.
Yeah, the end user is the final consumer or a person.
Customer.
Yeah, customer. The end user is the final customer or consumer or a person who ultimately uses our product or services in the software. This is, I mean, every day he will interact with the application or systems, whether it is a mobile app, a website, or any other digital tool. Okay. The end users are not involved in any development process. They will just access the application and provide valuable feedback that helps and improve our product. Okay. Let's say every day you are accessing Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Azure, different applications, right? You are an end user. How is your experience on accessing those applications? Is it the process is straightforward, it's simple, or it's complicated? That must be decided by that feedback has been given by the customer who is using that application. That we call it as a end user. Okay. Then moving to the advantages of manual testing. What are the advantages of manual testing? Can anyone respond? What are the advantages of manual testing? Shiva, you said in the first uh, question.
So coding free application,
Yeah,
coding zero coding,
yes,
and
no
we need to
problem.
understand the application easily uh, without any. Um, yes, we need to understand the requirement from our client, and we need to write the test case steps, and we need to execute those ones. These are three main parts, main things that we need to uh, do in the manual testing, perform in the manual testing.
Correct, correct. Basically, the advantages of manual testing is, as I said, any graduate or a person who is having gap of 1 to 5 years with BSc or BCA or BCom background, students are eligible to do this course. So in this, the advantage, even BTech, CSC, EC, EEE, mechanical also eligible to do this course. The main advantage of this course is no programming knowledge is required. Here you have here, I mean, in the software testing, expecting the best communication skills along with interactive skills. Okay, these are the main factors involved in the manual testing. What else? That the other advantage is like real user interaction. So testers interact with the software like a real users, helping to identify the usability and the user interface issues. So every day you are, I mean, you're accessing some applications in some point of view, anything, whatever. Let's say you want to place any grocery order, you will go to Jepto and placing an order, right? So you come to know that whether the application is properly designed or developed or not, right? So we call it as a usability and user interface, how it looks, the performance, the UI. Okay, everything will be, you feel it is a real user interaction. What else? And the other advantage of manual testing is cost effective. So it is more affordable compared to setting up with other testing like automation testing or performance testing, everything. Okay. So here the automation testing only effective when it is a stable and repeated scenarios are in place. Otherwise, manual testing plays a key role for every project. There is no automation, there is no performance, there is no security without manual testing. The primary the primary, fundamental software is the manual testing process. The other advantage is like easy to learn. So new testers can quickly learn and start manual testing without, any complex trainings. These all are advantages of the manual testing. So can anyone tell what are the disadvantages of manual testing?
We are humans, right? So maybe we do mistake or to find out anything.
Correct. Sometimes there might be a chance of skipping or missing to test the requirements. Yes, correct.
So these days, actually, we are having a limited time for testing.
Correct.
So in order to huge testing, manual testing cannot solve the problem.
Okay. Correct. Time consuming. So manual testing takes more time when you compared with, automation testing, especially for repetitive tasks. It's time consuming. That is one of the disadvantage. What else?
And manpower required for it.
Exactly. We need a large number of human testers, so which can increase the cost, right? Let's say we got a project from uh, our Indian government, which is, passport application development. So we need very huge human testers to test whether the application is working or not. So it's definitely increase the cost, right? For hiring those many human testers. Cost also one of the disadvantage. What else?
We cannot build any kind of reusable assets like automation test scripts.
Correct. So here non-reusable test cases we call it as a. So let's say you have created test cases specific to, the passport application, but you cannot uh, reuse the same passport related test cases to, the other application like uh, IRCTC, the other government application, right? You cannot reuse the same test cases for a new software. So non-reusable test cases. That is also one of the disadvantages. And the other one is like communication barrier. So when different teams work together, sometimes we are human beings, right? So misunderstandings can occur. So sometimes these misunderstandings potentially leading to errors in our testing process. So these all comes under disadvantages of, manual testing. Okay, let's move to the next question. What is software? This is a basic question. What is software? Every day you are installing some softwares in your mobile or your laptop. You are just working.
It's nothing but a product which we can fulfill our tasks to do. I mean, software is a product like.
Okay.
It's it's an application.
Correct. Correct. It's an application. How the application develops. Software is an application is correct.
It's a collection of data.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, the software is a collection of interconnected programs and data that performs a specific task or some functions. Okay. The software consists of an executable code, some code that might be in Java language or PHP or Perl or Python, whatever it may be, but it tells the computer how to operate and process the information. Okay, the software can range from simple applications to complex systems that manage our entire business processes. So let's say, even if you look at, if you go to Play Store, we have our own software that is feature proof trainings. Even you download it and see what are the features available in that software. So that is nothing connected with multiple programs, which is an executable code, and that tells the computer how to process the information, that we call it as a software. Okay, let's move to the next. What is project versus project? What is project and what is product? Any idea? So basically here a project refers to a software which is developed to meet the specific requirements of a particular client or some organization. For example, MNCs companies, they will often get projects from different clients in USA or our Indian government agencies as well. This is known as a project or an application, okay, which is only specific to the client use. Let's say one example, if I have a requirement to sell my medicines through online, what I can do? I will engage with the companies who will develop a custom based application based on my requirement and needs, that we call it as a project. So that medical store, some XYZ medical store, which is my project, I have given to some companies, they have developed and deployed in my space, so that can be usable across multiple users, so that they will place their online orders through online. Okay, project is nothing but it's a specific requirements of a particular client or any organization, that we call it as a project. Even if you look at, you know uh, Jepto or different grocery stores, they are small projects, and even we have a very big projects also. So here cost is also depending on the size of the project. That is about the project. What is product? What is product?
It is a complete set of all the applications. It's like a complete set, like Microsoft. I mean, Windows.
Yeah. So basically the product uh, is nothing but It developed based on a general market requirements. It is intended for a broader and a very big audience. So it is created for a public use and also for multiple users or business firms. Example, what you said, Microsoft Office, that is developed by Microsoft, that can be used by multiple users and also multiple business firms. Similarly, operating system, which is a product. So individuals are using that product and even companies are using the operating systems. They must pay to the Microsoft company because that is owned by the Microsoft company. Even we have multiple products in the market. If you look at SAP, they're having their own products designed primarily for public use and also, I mean, even for the individuals to fulfill their everyday needs. So you heard SAP financial, some company want to perform their financial transactions. So they will use the SAP product so that they are paying something to the SAP company. Similar to Oracle. Oracle having their own products. So most of the business firms are using their products in order to functioning their day-to-day activities. That might be payroll or that might be, the employee information, everything. Okay, that we call it as a product. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So we have a list of topics. Um, I will be covering most of the topics, and one of my friends, Sharif, will be covering a few of them in the next session. But today I will be covering very high level functional concepts, and that too, this is just 1.5 hour session. So we will share all the course content of each topic uh, over the emails and even available in my website, that is future proof training site. Okay, so today I will be covering mostly into the first, that is manual testing, very high level overview, and might be next session we will be covering Selenium, Core Java, CI/CD, and performance testing using JMeter, MySQL. Okay. So what a common person think when using any app. Okay, so before diving into our main topic, let's consider what everyday user expect from the applications and services they use. So you guys are using multiple applications every day, right? So in our day-to-day activities, we naturally perform various checks to confirm that everything works as it should. Let's say, for example, the first one, UPI payments. When you make any UPI payment, you quickly verifying. That means you are checking whether the deducted amount matches what you intended to pay, right? Correct or not? Similarly, if you made any purchases through online, might be Flipkart or Amazon or whatever it may be. So you are validating whether you receive the right quantity of items or not, you are getting the intended discount or not. You are again validating whether the shipping address is accurate or not. Similarly, the billing details are accurate or not. So that means you are verifying each and everything. Okay, in your day-to-day activities. Even if you look at, um, you know, uh, while watching TV, whether you are pressing a right channel number on your TV remote or not, you are selecting an OTT platform. So uh, I mean, on your Amazon Fire Stick or something else, you are confirming that these functions are working correctly or not, right? That means you are checking from your end, that is the system or the application or whatever it may be, it is working as per your expectations or not. Correct, right? Even I will give you a simple example. One day you are going and dropping your kid to school. Kid is asking, Dad, I want a pen. So you went to shop and brought a pen for him. So before giving to your kid, you are validating some, that is whether the pen is writing correctly or not, whether the pen having the right weight and the color is good or not, how is the cost of the pen, everything you will look at, right, before purchasing any item. That means quality, everything. And even you see at the end, the pen brings a smile in your kid face or not. Even if you don't like it, then again you have to go for other alternative. So that means you have to consider each and everything while buying or accessing any application in your career. So the basic need to confirm that things are working as expected is at the core of our daily experience with the technology. Okay, let's say, imagine if your UPI app deducted more money than it should. Okay, then it's a problem, right? Again, if you receive a less than the order quantity, then again it's a problem. Again, you were charged an incorrect GST amount, that is also a problem. In such a cases, you would be disappointed, right? Definitely, as a consumer or a customer, you would be disappointed, unsatisfied, and likely start looking for alternatives that function correctly. Okay, so this is exactly why ensuring the software quality throughout testing is so crucial. It helps guarantee that every interaction must meets the user expectations. Okay, are you clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, Ram.
Okay, what is the importance of software testing?
Mm.
As I said earlier, the software testing is important because if there are any bugs or errors in the software, it can be identified early and can be solved before delivery of the software product. The properly tested software product ensures, the reliability, the security, the high performance, which results in time of, savings, good performance, good reliability, and the customer satisfaction. These all are very important in software testing. I will give you two examples in this why the software testing is important. You know, because the software bugs could be very, very expensive in almost all of the cases. Okay, and even those are dangerous also. I will tell you one thing, that right, Nissan brand cars. What happened, they are not performed their testing while manufacturing the Nissan car. So they delivered almost to 2 million cars to the users. So they almost recalled 1 million cars from the market due to software failure in the airbag sensory detectors. There has been reported 2 accidents due to this software failure. See, because of improper testing, there is a life. I mean, uh, they met an accident and their life's gone due to improper testing. Okay. Similarly, where Starbucks, they supply coffee. So even in the Starbucks also, they closed almost 60% of the stores in the US and Canada due to software failure in its POS machines, POS systems. So why? Because of lack of proper software testing. So if you perform the proper software testing, then you will never face any issues after real environment or the production environment. So that's why the benefits of properly tested software is reliability, secure, good performance, time saving, and customers satisfaction. Okay. So here is the course coverage. So we will be covering almost the end-to-end concepts of functional concepts, which includes, the software development life cycles and advanced models, levels of testings, and the difference between functional and non-functional testing, and even difference between black box and white box testing techniques, and how the software testing life cycle drive into the system, and what is the role in artificial intelligence and defect life cycle and test management tools, how we will be maintaining our test cases repository, and SQL database, how we are validating database queries. Okay. And even uh, we have like a API testing will be covered in the other sessions, and even JMeter and CI/CD integration using Jenkins, okay, etc. So coming to the concept, what is quality? So anybody can respond, what is quality? We are discussing till now what is quality only, but these all are different terminologies used in software testing process. Quality assurance, quality control, verification, validation. These all are different types of terms. All terminologies are similar, but we need to project somehow. So the quality, if you look at any dictionary, quality says value, or quality can be defined as a conformance to specifications. Okay. So here basically the quality refers to the degree to which a product or service or process meets or exceeds the expectations and requirements of a customers or stakeholders or other relevant parties. Okay. It is just a measuring the value. It is measuring the value that we call it as a quality. How we will be measuring? We will be measuring how well it meets specified requirements, how well a product or service performs its intended functions, how well it satisfied customer needs and expectations. Based on that, we will stand on the quality. Okay. And we can also define the quality considering some of the parameters like portability, usability, reusability, correctness, and maintainability. So take every organization, any organization across different industries. It may not be a software industry. You take any industry. So they are investing so much on the quality management systems and the process to ensure that their products or their services meets or exceed the expectations of their customers and the stakeholders or not. So everywhere this quality exists. Let's say Usha, they're manufacturing fans. At the end of at the end of the cycle, that means before uh, selling to the customer, they are checking how is the quality. There is a specified team exist in every industry, irrespective of the software. Even if you look at pharma, there is Redis and we have a matrix and number of pharma companies are there. There is a team called quality team. At the end, they will test whether the product is meeting or exceeding the expectations of the customer or not. If it not, then the product is a failed product. If it is success, then it will be available for the consumer or the end user. That we call it as a quality. So you have to think in your day-to-day activities how quality works for you. Okay. Okay. So you just got a job opportunity in any of the software company. So what are your roles and responsibilities in any of the company? Let's say you hired for a test engineer role. What basically you want to do? Any idea? Can anyone share your thoughts on this question? What are the roles and responsibilities of any test engineer?
First, we understand the flow of an application. There's
Okay.
a memory. And the next, we have to write some text cases to that
Correct.
functional flow, and
Okay.
we are validating with by using some techniques.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So anybody else? I'm expecting answers from others as well. At least read from the, the presentation as well. Okay. So basically the roles and responsibilities of any test engineer is once he chipped into any project, first he will review and analyze the project requirements and design documentation. Okay, that means it is nothing but a requirement analysis. So you try to understand the requirements and identify which requirements are testable, and accordingly he will create one traceability matrix which contains the requirements versus the test cases. Okay, after that he will develop a comprehensive test plan and strategies based on his project needs. Okay, then he will involve in the estimation of testing efforts, and if you want to perform any automation, he involve in selection of automation tools, etc. So once comprehensive test plans are ready, he will start designing or creating the test cases and test scenarios. And even if you are an automation engineer, you will start working on the test script development. And parallelly, you will create the test data. Let's say today I want to test a particular functionality like um, I want to register for future proof training. For that, I need to enter the first name, last name, email ID, phone number. These four are the fields. So you need to, validate whether those fields are accurately taking inputs or not, and how many ways you can test those four fields by giving multiple test data combinations, by giving, you know, alphabets or alphanumerics, by entering special characters, by giving spaces in between the words. So whether it is accepting or not. So you have to write the test cases based on some test design techniques, which can be covered in our next sessions. Okay. After test case creation, usually the test engineer will perform test execution. He executing the test cases manually or using some automation tools. During the test execution, if you found any defects, he log the defects and logging the defects in defect tracking tools. Okay. After that, he worked closely with developers to make sure those fixes should resolve on timely basis. Let's say if developer takes more than a month, then there is no point here. So you have to follow up with the developer to make sure that expecting a timely resolution to retest those fixed issues. After that, as a test engineer, what you will do once uh, you have you understood the requirements, you created test plans, you created the test cases, you perform the test execution, you logging the defects. These all things you have completed as part of your job responsibility. After that, you will prepare daily and weekly test status report to the test lead, and even you are communicating test progress of your testing or challenges, whatever it may be, the results to stakeholders or your test lead. And the other one, the major the responsibility is like you have collaboration. What is collaboration here? Collaboration is nothing but you work with cross functional teams. There are n number of teams in your project. There is a development team, there is a business analyst, there is a project managers, there are stakeholders. So you have to collaborate with them and try to get the knowledge and try to interact with them, which really helps in terms of your testing. Okay. And the other collaboration, the other one is like participate in daily stand-up meetings and reviews, scrum calls, sprint reviews, sprint retrospective. There are different meetings. We call it as a collaboration. What is the other role and responsibility of any test engineer? Continuous improvement. So you have to improve yourself, review your test process and methodologies to enhance your testing effectiveness, and also stay updated with the latest testing tools, latest industry best practices. So irrespective of testing in your career, this is one of the major responsibility for each and every individual, that is continuous improvement and continuous development. If you are not improving your knowledge, definitely you are at the back. Okay. You always review, stay updated with the latest techniques, latest market updates. What is the other responsibility? Ensuring the quality, validate whether the software what you have tested, which is meeting the functional and non-functional requirements or not. That is also the main responsibility of a software test engineer. Yeah, that's all about roles and responsibilities of any software test engineer if you hire for any company. This is very simple and straightforward process. And I will ask you one more question. So these all are roles and responsibilities of any software test engineer. Let's say you got a job. Okay. I mean, you are working in a company since last 1 year. So when you are step into the office, what typically you follow? Can anyone tell what you are following in your current organization? What are your steps, day-to-day activities? Anybody can?
Initially, we check it the mails and
Okay.
we are prioritize the task. I mean, we are selected the prioritized task, and as per the requirement, we are preparing text cases and send back to the lead for the review. And so this process is going on.
Any Other response? Yeah, basically, once you are logged into the office, as Lakshmi said, initially we are checking our emails, we are review and respond to any email, important emails from the team members or developers or clients. Afterwards, we are attending daily stand-up meetings. So that is a very quick team meeting to share our updates and what was done yesterday. Okay, what we are planning for today, what we need to do it today, and are there any blockers or issues that need attention from your test lead or someone else. Okay, that is we will be discussing in our daily stand up. And then task prioritization, that means we have to review our tasks planned for the day and prioritizing based on the deadline and the project needs. After that, we will review our requirements and we will perform our test execution. And afterwards, we are logging any defects if we found during our testing and documenting our, challenges or new learnings, whatever it may be. That is our day-to-day activities. We have to document because there might be a chance of forgetting, you know, in the future. So sometimes if the same situation occurs or arises, so if you don't document, so everything gone lost. The other one is team collaboration, and as I said earlier, it's continuous learning and improvement. Okay, these all are uh, the roles and responsibilities, and even once you logged into any office, you follow these all are the s- steps followed by any test engineer. Let's move to the next. So these are the 7 principles of software testing. So basically, uh, the first and the foremost important principle is testing shows the presence of defects. Here, the primary purpose of the testing, the primary purpose of the testing is to identify defects or errors in the software product or the system. The testing cannot prove that the software is a defect free, but it can provide information about the presence of the defects. That is the first principle. Okay. And the next princ- principle is exhausting, exhaustive testing is not possible. Here it is impossible to test all the possible combinations of any inputs and scenarios that the software product or system may encounter. So the testing effort should be focused on the most critical and important aspects of the software product or system. So let's say there is the functionality. So as per your knowledge, you follow testing techniques, testing methodologies, functional testing techniques, everything you follow, and accordingly you will test that application. But exhaustive testing means there are permutations and combinations that is impossible in this case. This is one of the principle, software testing principle. I mean, we are human beings. We cannot cover each and everything. Somehow we will miss some functionality testing scenarios. Okay. Next, early testing. What is early testing? Early testing definitely it saves the time and money, right? Testing early in the software development life cycle can help detect and correct defects before they become more expensive to fix later in the development cycle or after the production development product is getting released. So here defects detected early are less expensive because it is still development stage and it's not moved to the further stages. Okay, so early testing is always a best choice. This is one of the principle in software testing. We covered 3 as of now. We have 4 more principles. The other one is like defect clustering. What is defect clustering? Cluster means we are categorizing into small number of modules or components. We call it as a clustering. So here these components or modules are responsible for most of the defects detected during the testing. So here we are focusing on testing these modules or components can provide most significant return or investment. That is a defect clustering. Okay. And we have other principles, which is pesticide paradox, and testing is context dependent, and absence of errors fallacy. So there are, I mean, we will discuss all this in our next slides. So these all are important software testing principles. So how much testing is enough? Is there any rule that this much testing is necessary? Anyone?
Yeah, there is no such rule, but depend upon the product or project, we need to decide something like.
Yeah, that means there is no rule for that. We clearly, if you recall, one of our testing principle, that is exhaustive testing is not
Surgery
possible.
related products, that is small project.
Exactly. So it depends on the type of a software being developed. It's a purpose and the user who use it. So if you look at, we have a different domains, domain specific testings. We have like healthcare testing. In this healthcare testing, what we will be focusing? We will be focusing on compliance, patient data, security, and specialized workflows. If you look at the other domain, which is banking and insurance, here what we will be emphasizing? Here we will be emphasizing transaction accuracy, security, and regulatory compliance. Okay, we will be focusing these specific, uh, you know, functionalities with respect to our testing space. What about e-commerce applications? Every day you are accessing e-commerce applications. What we will be focusing on e-commerce? Ensure having a smooth user experiences, and the transactions must be secured, and the application must be robust, and the performance must be good shape during the high traffic. That is what we are expecting in the e-commerce applications. So it depends on domain specific. So how much testing is enough? But the general rules to follow is, irrespective of any domain or any technology or any application, we will be valid whether all the requirements are tested as per our requirement traceability matrix or not. That is the first rule. And the other rule is like, we are logging the defects in our defect tracking tool. So all open defect status should be closed. That means all the defects must be tested and closed. That is the next rule. And every product we have one regression suit, whether we have executed that regression suit in order to not breaking the existing functionality or not. This is also one of the rule. We need to perform the regression testing. This will be covered in our next slides. Okay. And ensure the actual use cases are tested or not. And the other one is like, any previous production issues and related areas are tested or not. These are the general rules we need to follow. Accordingly, we will come up with the solution that we are done with our testing. Because testing is the last phase in any of the software development cycle to authorize or to approve the product is working as per the client requirement, so that the product will be deployed to the client space or end user space or live, so that accessible to the consumer. Okay. Any questions in this slide? Okay, what is difference between manual and automation testing? Usually, who tests the manual testing? Human being. As a human being, you will go through each and every flow, the functionality, and verifying whether it is working as per the requirement or not. Human being can be done by this manual testing. Automation testing, who does? There are n number of automation tools available in the market. You guys know Selenium, Tosca, Playwright. There are n number of tools. So those tools are, by using those tools, the automation will be triggered and executed. And moving to the next parameter, time factor and time efficiency. Here, definitely manual testing will be a time consuming and less efficient because we are a human beings. There might be a chances to skip some functionalities. But automation point of view, we will be giving all the functionalities in the Excel or some document. So it will be driving from that space. So there is no way to miss the functionality, and even it will perform in the less time, more testing in less time. Moving to the test coverage. Test coverage is nothing but how many functionalities you are going to cover in a some ample time. So here very difficult to ensure the sufficient test coverage. Why? Because um, you are not sure. You will be stuck at any point of time due to some complex scenarios or complex issues, or might be test data issues. There are a lot. Okay, so it is very difficult to ensure the sufficient test coverage. But in automation, you are easy to ensure a great test coverage. Why? Because everything will be documented, everything will be written in our script, so that will be driven uh, deep dive in based on our flag values. And the other one, browsers testing. In this browsers testing, basically, you know, the consumer can open any browser that we are not sure, right? Let's say I want to access Flipkart application. I may open in Google Chrome. Some X person may open in Edge browser. Some other person may open in Firefox. Different browsers, but we are expecting same solution. Okay, same requirement. So we have to test whether the application is working in all the browsers similarly or not. But as a human being, it is very difficult for us to test in the different browsers. But automation tool, it parallelly triggers all the browsers in one go and triggers the execution. Okay. Here coming to the physical presence. So obviously a human can sit in front of the system and execute the test cases. In automation, you put your test executions overnight without human presence. Coming to the other parameter, reports. Here, testers should prepare the daily status reports. That means how many test cases you are executed, how many are failed, how many defects you have logged, uh, what is, you know, the functionalities need to be tested, what are the pending scenarios. Everything you will prepare a report and share it to your stakeholders or test leads. But in automation testing, the tool itself generate the report stating how many scenarios are passed, how many are failed, so that the user can easily watch and uh, you know just review the failed test cases. Accordingly, they will log a defect. The product experience. This is the human intervention. So here the human is access the application. He is checking from his point of view, his how his mind, brain, everything is working. So the experience is very close and the ease of access is very beneficial to the human. But coming to the automation testing, it includes multiple tools unable to check the usability and the accessibility. Okay, these all are the differences of manual versus automation testing. Any questions on the screen? Okay. So let's say coming to this SDLC, what is SDLC? Which is a software development life cycle. Okay. Today I will explain this topic. On other slides, I will just go through very high level because we are running out of the time. We will be closing our session at 10:30 a.m. today. This is just a 1.5 hour session. So other topics will be covered in the next session. So our team will notify you. Okay. So I will ask you a simple question. How companies will get a project? What is the process of getting a project from any company? Anybody have any views on that? How companies will get a project? Let's say TCS is the company. They want to they want a project from government of India. How they will get the project from government of India? Can anybody explain? So here government of India invite multiple companies. Multiple companies might be TCS, Tata Consultancy, or Infosys, or Wipro, or HCL, whatever it may be, to bid for developing a new software solution. Okay. So once all the multiple companies are invited for the bidding, so there is a meeting called initial meeting. We call it as a kickoff meeting. It's usually attended by the top management or company senior CEO or even senior management. They will attend that meeting. Okay. So in that meeting, if the client accept any company, client is nothing but government of India accept any of the company's proposal, might be Infosys or Wipro or TCS, which includes the budget, and even the company TCS must agree with the budget and agree with the terms and conditions specified by government of India. Then only the project is awarded to the particular company. Okay. Then once the project is awarded to some TCS company, example government of India to TCS company, then the TCS company, the senior management will appoint a project manager responsible for creating the project initiation note, which includes the overall project plan. Okay. Afterwards, we are come into the picture, that is software development life cycle model. You got it right? How companies will get a project from any, client. Okay. What is software development life cycle? Anybody have any idea? This is straightforward. So here, basically the software development life cycle is a structured process. Okay. Which is a structured process used by software industry, any software industry, to use this development life cycle to design, to design, to develop, to develop, to test, to test, and to deploy the software application, that we call it as a software development life cycle. It ensures that the software is high quality and meets the client requirement. Okay. That we call it as a software development life cycle. There are 5 phases here. The first phase is requirement gathering and analysis. What is requirement gathering and analysis? In the first phase, we are understanding the problem. That means once we got the project from Government of India, we understand the problem and gather the requirements from them. Okay, that means we are capturing all the client requirements and we are conducting some brainstorming and walkthrough to understand the requirements fully, and we perform the requirement feasibility analysis to ensure all requirements are you know testable or not, and even analyze we are analyzing to identify the needs, goals, and objective of the software product. Okay, this all will be comes under the requirements gathering. Here, the outcome of this phase, that is requirement gathering phase, is requirement understanding document. Okay, in this we include some use cases, user stories. There are a number of requirement related artifacts. Okay, and the requirement gathering is one of the you know critical to the success of any software development project, as it sets the foundation for the software product design, the next phases. Because here once we are done with the first phase, then only we will be moving to the next phase. There is no chance of moving backward direction, it always a forward direction. So that's why if you go to design phase, everything is depending on the first phase, that is requirement gathering. So in this requirement gathering, uh, you know the other phases which includes design, development, testing is completely depending on this requirement gathering. So make sure that it's very important to gather and analyze the requirements thoroughly, and to ensure that the software product meets the needs and the expectations of our government of India and nothing but our client or not. Okay, and even we will be validating the feasibility study, which means whether the project is technically feasible or not, whether it is operationally feasible or not, whether it is economically feasible or not. We have to validate all. So let's say there is a movie. I wanted to direct that movie. So before making a movie, the producer and director perform the requirement gathering and analysis. That means whatever I said right now, that is feasibility study, economically feasible or not. That means they will put some budget, like I want to complete this project or this movie in 100 crores. Okay, they set some budget. They have to work to by using the allocated budget only. They don't go beyond that budget. And technically feasible or not. What is technically? That means whatever the tools and technologies we are using, which are apt to this project or not. That means in a movie they are verifying whether this hero or heroine or other crew is aligns with this movie or not. Let's say one, I mean, some movies are fit into some specific heroes, not all the heroes. So similarly we need to choose the right technology. And the other one is whether this is operationally feasible or not. What is the operation? Operation is nothing but you want the outcome of 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But if you get the outcome is 3, then somewhere there is a flaw in your system. So you should be very careful during the requirement gathering and analysis to make sure that all the requirements should be very clear. Okay. Next, moving to the design phase. What is design? In this design phase, the solution architect and the plan the implementation. Here, the development, whatever the data we are collected in this previous phase, that is requirement gathering analysis, we will be creating some design documents based on the previous phase requirements. So here we have an architect, we have a developer, we have a project manager. These all will be involved in design phase, and they will prepare some high level design documents and low level design documents that identify the hardware and software specifications. So Even they will come up with some unified model diagrams, some use cases diagrams in order to understand the flow of the application. They will review those diagrams with the the client. If they feel good, then we will be moving forward to the next phase. The next phase is the coding or implementation phase. In this phase, who will be involving? As I said, only the developers and the project manager will be involving. So here, the developer write the write and develop the code according to the documents designed in this design phase. So see here, every phase is dependent with his previous phase. So if you do anything bad on the previous phase, which affects the next phase. Okay, so here we are in this phase, we will be integrating all the modules, we will be performing the unit testing, everything will be performed. Actual application will be built and developed in this phase. So multiple developers are working on different modules. Let's say you all accessed Amazon having multiple modules. One module belongs to fashion, one module belongs to electronics, one module belongs to groceries, I mean, multiple developers are working on multiple modules. So we need to integrate all the modules together, and at the end, everything should work as per the client needs. Okay. So once the coding is completed, then this is the phase where our testing role involves, which is the system testing. What is the testing? In this testing phase, the QA engineer and the QA manager will be involved. We conduct the functional testing, non-functional testing, ensure that the system meets the client requirements or not. We are logging the defects. We are applying different testing methodologies, which includes black box, functional testing, regression testing, test cases, test reports. Everything will be involved in this testing phase. If the system is working as per the client requirement and everything is good, all defects are closed, everything is working fine, then only you are moving you are providing approvals for the next phase, which is system deployment. System deployment is nothing but we are deploying the actual product, the complete product in the client environment. Client environment is nothing but the user, the end user who uses this product. So before that, we will provide some knowledge transfer how to use this product, and he will test that. We call it as a user UAT testing, user accessibility testing. Okay. So in this system deployment, the deployment environment is ready or not, verify there are no critical defects, deploy the application to the production environment, okay, in this phase, and perform the sanity check whether the code is properly deployed to the end user or not. We perform a kind of a smoke check whether all the functionality is working as per the requirement or not. Here, environment specifications and deployment confirmations and everything will be part of this phase. And the last phase after deployment, there is a maintenance phase. Maintenance is nothing but, let's say our IRCTC application is developed in 2022. That means almost 23 years ago, the development is completed. But still maintenance activities are in place. What are those maintenance activities? Maintenance activities are nothing but if there are any defects encountered by users in real-time use. Let's say you are booking a ticket. The money is deducted from your account, but ticket is not booking. Where is the miss here? There is a problem in the server side. So we have to fix those issues so that those all will be comes under the maintenance phase. So if they will be enhancing some new features, we need to test the existing functionalities as well as the newly added improvements as part of the maintenance state. So the project is keep on going. There is no end. once it comes to the maintenance. See, this IRCTC product is developed almost, as I said, 23 years ago, but still there is a dedicated development team and there is a dedicated testing team. They keep on, working on that product to enhance the application, to adding new improvements. Similarly, testers will be performing whether working as per the client expectations or not. Because, right, very huge people are accessing this IRCTC applications. So how the heavy load handles during 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock time, everything will be, taken care in this maintenance state. This is all about, the SDLC introduction. Any questions? Okay, so I will just go through the next slides. We are running out of the time. It's almost 10:30. So, there are even we have other models, which is advanced models. We call it as V model and, and the agile model. So in the SDLC models, the testing performed only after the coding phase is completed. That's what I discussed, right, in our SDLC model. But in advanced models, that is in V model and Agile model, we conducting the development and testing activities in parallel. That means we are improving the overall software quality and reducing the risk in these advanced models. So we will be discussing this V model and Agile models in our next sessions. Okay, very vast topics. Even while performing our software testing, uh, we will be conducting, black box, white box, and gray box. Okay, these are different types of testing methodologies. These are the levels of testing uh, that is part of our testing activity. These all are different types of testing. While the code is deployed into our testing environment, we will perform different testings. So ad hoc testing, retesting, regression testing. And what is the difference between functional and non-functional testing? And there are, black box testing techniques. These are, really very good to know. So very interesting, these techniques. Uh, how these techniques will be helpful in our real time also help us a lot. So boundary value analysis, sequence class partition, state transition technique, cause effective graph and decision tables. And if you look at the today generation, everybody is thinking about artificial intelligence. So every, industry or every technology are transforming into artificial intelligence. So coming to the testing point of view, how the artificial intelligence role in our software testing, that can be discussed in our sessions. How the artificial intelligence tools help us in terms of software testing, or software test automation, or risk-based testing, or performance testing. This is the software test life cycle. These are nothing but the roles and responsibilities of a software test engineer, starting from requirement analysis, test planning, test case development, environment test setup, test execution, and test case closure. These all comes under software testing life cycle. So as I said, uh, the software engineer, one of the main role is to find a defect, to log a defect. So this is the steps where we log a defect in our test management tool. This is the process where we need to follow. So that will be discussed in the next slide. Even we will explain the capstone project. So that is, we will consider the real-time software domains, includes e-commerce, healthcare, banking, and come up with real-time use cases and the workflows, which really helps to understand the functionalities. There is a tool called test management tool, which drives the complete testing end-to-end activities, starting from requirement gathering to test closure, test reporting, test case creations, test case mapping, test set, test plans, and test executions. So this is a separate topic. So, and this is the database side, structured query language. Whatever the data we are viewing in the UI, the data will be stored in the database in the backend. how the data will be captured, how we will retrieve the data by using SQL queries, how we will be validating the data, UI versus the backend DB. So those are all will be covered in structured query language. And API testing. So these days, most of the applications, 95% of the applications are transforming to API. API is very speed and which gives the accurate results. So what is the role in API testing and what are the types of API testings available? So we will discuss on different types of testing, REST API and SOAP API, and what are the commonly used protocols also discussed as part of this API testing. And Jenkins, which is nothing but how to trigger our automation executions without the manual intervention based on the schedulers, how any job, automation job triggers and provide the testing results. So this is also one of the topic be covered. Okay, that's all from my side, team. Any questions? Team, do you have any questions? Please feel free to ask me related to software testing course or automation testing or performance or security. What is career path in software testing?
Yeah, hello team. Ram is having 16 plus years of experience and is a delivery manager in a reputed company, product-based company. And we will help you in shaping your career, like building your resume, taking mock interviews, helping in preparing the interviews, and all these things. So you are in safe hands actually. And today, another instructor, Mr. Sharif, was not came because of health issues. So next week we will be taking care of related selenium and automation and all. So what I'm giving assurance is that you are in the safe hands because almost all of us are having almost 15 to 17 years of experience, and most of us working as delivery managers. And apart from training, we will help you in networking actually. Networking means how to send your profiles to multiple better companies, as we are having very good network in software testing. Almost 17, 18 years of experience in only testing. Definitely, we will have a lot of networking, right? So we will use our networking to share your resumes and to get interview calls actually. So, and this training is app-based training. We have shared the app link here. So you can install the app. All the content every day, it will be uploaded in the app once the class is completed. So you can watch the videos wherever you go. If you have a mobile phone itself, you don't need laptop as well. Once you attend the class, you can listen the class again and again using your mobile phone. So it will help you to memorize and recollect what you have heard actually. And another thing is like, Ram, I'll share you just, I'll share the screen. Yeah. So another thing is like it is as an app-based training. So we will be conducting interviews. Apart from interviews, we'll be conducting written tests. You can just go and log into this one. You can log in with phone number. So it will ask you 4-digit OTP will come. And once you provide, it will go to the application. Either you can install in your mobile phone or you can access the same app in your laptop as well. So these are the other courses we are providing: manual testing, API testing, rest assured, everything we are doing here, and all the content you can be having access for your lifetime. So what is the assurance we are giving here is like, you pay the fees once and you can join the course as many times as you want until you placed in the job. So that is the assurance we are providing for all the students for all the courses, not only for the software testing. For any course, you pay the fees only once and you join the courses as many times as you want until you are placed in a particular company. Okay, so this is what actually from the company point of view, what I want to showcase. So all these things will be covered on a timely scheduled manner, and everything will be what you call recollect by going to the particular course. You can go to the course and you can read your classes again and again. And if you want to take some kind of tests, the sample test is there. Just we are providing all the tests actually. You can write the test and you can assess your own strength on a particular thing actually. So we are building all these exams as well. So it's up to you. If you want to write your test also, you can write the test and you can assess where exactly you are before going to any kind of interviews. Apart from that, every 2 weeks, we will be conducting a 3-hour master class for cracking the interviews, particularly automation, manual testing, API testing, and performance testing, and all related soft skills and management skills, everything. Suppose you are having 5+ also, that is fine. We will train you because we are having 15+ years of experience. We are having all the expertise to train you, even you are having 10+ years of experience as well. Because we have already worked in multiple MNCs like product-based companies, service companies, and all the companies. And we are having good exposure for all related to software testing activities. Okay, and one more thing I assure you is that by joining our course, apart from everything, you will be getting very good networking actually. Your resume will be forwarded to at least 50 to 60 companies. So once you're confident enough that, sir, I'm ready to go for an interview, we will forward your resume to minimum 60+ companies and definitely will get a call. 60+ companies means here directly it will go to a particular interview panel, not to somebody like HR. It will go to the direct interview panel. They're having that kind of networking actually. Okay. Yeah. It's over to your arms. You can take on. Ram, anything you want to add?
Can you hear me? Yeah, no, Pawan. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining on the weekend. Thanks for your time. And definitely we will be in touch with you. And it's up to you. At the end of the day, we won't be behind you saying that please join the course. No, we are not that kind of people. It's up to you whether you want to join or not. And it is your career and it is your decision. So we are just kind of experts and we want to give our guidance in terms of software testing and automation actually. Okay, there might be multiple vendors in the market saying that we will give a lot of training on software testing and all. Yeah, we are not competing with anybody. So we are kind of professionals. We have given a lot of corporate trainings and all. So we want to give all our expertise to a mass market where people can take advantage of our expertise and networking. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining the meeting.
Thank you all for joining.